You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 44. Kong Ming pushes Zhou Yu into action. Sun Quan finally decides to attack Cao Cao. What his mother reminds him of is the advice that her sister heard from the lips of the dying Sun, so that on domestic affairs, Sun Quan should listen to Zhang Zhao, but he should listen to Zhou Yu on external affairs. So it is decided to consult Zhou Yu, who at that time is at the Poyang Lakes, where he is conducting naval exercises. Lu Su sets off straight away, and is reassured by Zhou Yu that he will support him the moment Kong Ming comes as well. But then a delegation led by Zhang Zhao arrives and argues in favor of surrendering to Cao Cao, and Zhou Yu appears to agree with them. Then the military leaders turn up, urging resistance to Cao Cao, and Zhou Yu seems to side with them. After this comes a delegation of bureaucrats led by Kong Ming's brother Zhuge Jin, who makes the comment that surrendering certainly means a sort of security, while war, well, who can tell what that will lead to. Again Zhou Yu plays safe and says he will give a decision the next day. They are followed by yet another group, who debate back and forth among themselves in front of Zhou Yu until eventually he says he will definitely decide tomorrow, and they all leave. Now Lu Su brings Kong Ming to see him. Lu Su informs Kong Ming that his master is unable to make up his mind as to what to do. Imagine his shock when Zhou Yu says that he has decided to recommend surrendering to Cao Cao. Cao Cao represents the Son of Heaven, says Zhou Yu. To fight him is to court disaster. Surrender will prove the best form of safety. Understanding this, I'll inform our master to make the offer to surrender. Lu Su tries to argue against this, as a betrayal of 3 generations of lordship over the South, but Zhou Yu points out that there are a vast number of ordinary people living in the South, and war would bring disaster upon them, and the leaders such as he would rightly be blamed. Undeterred, Lu Su argues back, and the 2 men continue in this fashion, while a smiling Kong Ming sits back and watches. Challenged by both Zhou Yu and Lu Su as to why he is smiling, Kong Ming answers them. Having initially seemed to agree with Zhou Yu about surrendering, given that only Xuanda is left to confront Cao Cao, Kong Ming then springs his surprise. No need to have relays of offerings. Indeed, no need even for us to cross the river. It can be done with just one person, so long as that one person can take 2 other people over the river to Cao Cao. If Cao Cao has these 2, then his vast million-strong army will pack up and go home. Zhou Yu cannot hide his astonishment and asks, "Is that right? Who are these 2 people?" "Sending these 2, replies Kong Ming, "will be like the fall of a leaf from a great tree, or a grain store losing a few grains. But if Cao Cao can have these 2, then he will leave a happy man." And even more annoyed Zhou Yu asks, "Yes, but who are they?" "I've heard," says Kong Ming, "that Cao Cao is building a tower to be known as the Bronze Bird Tower, and that in this tower he'll house all the most beautiful women of the land. In particular, he has designs on the 2 daughters of the Qiao family of the South, women so beautiful that birds fly down to see them, fish drown for shame of not being as beautiful, the moon hides, and flowers are outdone by their beauty. Cao Cao's plan is to create his own empire, to seize the 2 Qiao sisters, and thus be able to spend his time indulging himself with them and die happy. All that army? Just a ploy to get these 2 women. Go and ask their father if he'll sell you his daughters, and then give them to Cao Cao, and all will be well." Zhou Yu wants to know how this desire of Cao Cao's can be proved to be true, to which Kong Ming replies that Cao Cao's own son, Xi, a noted writer and poet, was commissioned to write a poem, which is now known as the Bronze Bird Tower poem. He proceeds to recite the poem as if from memory. "It's good to walk in the footsteps of a wise king seeking delight. I climb the tower's levels in my heart's joy, to see the vast expanse of this new realm, and the regions this great man rules. The noble gates lift, hill high. The towers rise up into the blue. This amazing work sits in the midst of heaven. From here he can see the western settlements, gazing down on the river Zhang and its swirling waters, while his gardens are visibly full of fruit. The twin towers rise either side. One called Jade Dragon, the other Golden Phoenix. It's here he plans to trap the gorgeous Chow girls from the southeast, carousing morning and night in their company. From here he observes the imperial city's splendors, noting the swirling clouds around, like the waters. He rejoices in the glamorous literati around him, dreaming, like King Wen did, of auspicious signs. Look up, for here's the harmony of springtime. Listen, and your ear is rinsed by birdsong. Heaven itself stands like a guardian above. The dynasty has fulfilled its twin goals. His benevolence fills the universe. His capital is filled with honor. So much so that all former emperors' glory pales into insignificance. What success, what splendor! See how this kindly considerateness ripples out. Everyone wishes our house well. May this spread throughout the world. Its only limit, the edges of heaven and earth, illuminating everything, like the sun and moon combined. Forever true, forever sustained. He will live as long as the Eastern Emperor. His dragon banner is carried to the ends of the earth, while his phoenix chariot comes home triumphantly. His blessing spreads out to the four seas. The state is prosperous and the people content. My hope is that these towers last forever, and that this happiness, likewise, remains. On hearing this poem, Zhou Yu explodes with anger. He rises up and points his finger to the north, roaring, "You old traitor! This insult goes too far." Pretending confusion, Kong Ming asks him what is so difficult in letting two women go if this will sort things out. "Clearly you have no idea what you are talking about," retorts Zhou Yu. "The older sister is the wife of the late Commander Sun So, while the younger sister is none other than my own wife." "Oh dear me," says an apparently embarrassed Kong Ming. "I'd no idea." "I cannot live on this earth with that man," roars Zhou Yu, to which Kong Ming recommends restraint and careful thought, but to no avail. "Ha," says Zhou Yu. "I was only pretending when I appeared to support surrender. Tomorrow I'll recommend action to Sun Quan." The next day dawns, and Sun Quan assembles in the hall, on his right his military officials, and on his left his civil officials. The atmosphere is fraught with tension. Into this scene strides Zhou Yu. Bowing to Sun Quan, he asks to see the letter from Cao Cao in which he proposes an alliance. Snorting with disdain at the letter, Zhou Yu asks what Sun Quan is thinking of replying, to which Sun Quan says that, having asked for advice, he still cannot make up his mind. Zhou Yu speaks his mind, reminding Sun Quan that he is the third-generation ruler of these lands, and has a sacred trust from his ancestors. He then outlines 4 reasons why Cao Cao is far from being as strong or formidable as those arguing for an alliance are suggesting. He has advanced south when his northern flank is far from secure from attack. That is his first mistake. Secondly, he has moved from land warfare, at which he excels, to naval engagement, which his men do not understand. Thirdly, he is attacking in winter, when forage will be scarce. Finally, he has brought his men to strange lands and unknown diseases. This is why he will be defeated, never mind how many men he has now. Give me 150,000 tried and tested soldiers, and I will destroy him. Rising and brandishing his sword, Sun Quan gives Zhou Yu command over his forces, and appoints Qingpu and Lu Su to be his seconds in command. Returning to his rooms, Zhou Yu informs Kong Ming of the decision by Sun, and is very surprised to see a look of concern on Kong Ming's face. When he asks why, Kong Ming says, "Your lord still has not finally made up his mind, and until he does there is no point in making plans." Zhou Yu is astonished. "What on earth do you mean, he has not finally made up his mind?" To this Kong Ming replies that Sun Quan is still terrified by the apparent disparity in the number of troops available, convinced that Cao Cao has so many he can easily destroy Sun's troops. Before you can make any plans you must reassure him, and the only way to do this is to go through the numbers and types of troops at Cao Cao's command. Convinced by this, Zhou Yu returns to Sun's quarters and discovers that Kong Ming is absolutely right about Sun's anxieties, so he lays out for his lord the realities involved. It is said that Cao Cao has a 1,000,000-strong army. Well, let's examine that. His own northern troops actually number around 150,000, and they are exhausted. The troops who were with Yuan Shao and were forcibly conscripted into his army number about 80,000 and have no commitment to Cao Cao. Because of this, with 50,000 men I can break them. Sun Quan thanks his commander and says he is now without fear, so let battle commence, and if necessary I will face Cao Cao man to man in battle. Zhou Yu leaves, happy that this is now resolved, but also deeply disturbed. What troubles Zhou Yu is that Kong Ming has clearly got a better understanding not only of strategy, but also of the very mind of Sun Quan. He can see that Kong Ming's brilliance could spell real trouble for him in the future. So he starts to think about how to remove him, how to have him killed. That evening, he shares this with a shocked Lu Su, who replies that this would certainly be a terrible mistake, while the struggle with Cao Cao remains. Instead, he suggests that they ask Kong Ming's brother Zhuge Jin to try to win Kong Ming away from Xuanda and into the service of Sun Quan. Calmer now, Zhou Yu agrees. The next day, Zhou Yu gives his orders. Even Qing Pu, who has been upset at not being made overall commander, realizes that Zhou Yu knows what he is doing. Having been ordered that under no circumstances are the ordinary people to be harmed by their actions, the officers depart to take up their positions for war at the Three Rivers. It is the next day that Zhou Yu asks Zhuge Jin to try to persuade his brother to join them. However, in the ensuing discussion it is Kong Ming who nearly persuades his brother to change sides and join him in serving Xuanda. This is what Zhuge Jin reports back to Zhou Yu. Once Zhou Yu has ensured that Zhuge Jin will remain faithful to Sun, he says that he knows a way to bring Kong Ming on board. Can he? Let's find out.